Okay, today I want to explain what are the 3 reasons we don't drink enough. And it's more than just why we don't drink enough, it's why our thirst mechanism is on the fritz. It's just not functioning the way it should. Okay? There's probably a few more, but the 3 central ones, the 3 most practical ones, the ones we can actually deal with easily, are the following reasons. 1, we don't remember. And seriously, that is actually a very common reason. We are so busy in our modern life that we just, realize we haven't touched a drop of water in 3 hours because, we were full on. We were in the zone. You totally forgot the world, Oops, it's been 3 hours. I haven't drank even 1 cup of water. That's very common. Very, very, very common. And it's very simple to resolve, but we'll talk about the resolutions on in separate videos because they require, like that focus. So the first reason is we don't remember, and that's actually very simple. The second reason, that's a little trickier. There's the kind of situations where, you feel like drinking, you feel thirsty, but then you take a sip of water and it just doesn't feel right, so you just put it aside. But if you actually had something like a cup of juice or some tea, not necessarily green or black tea, because that's something I wouldn't recommend if you want to hydrate. It actually causes you to urinate more. But if you're talking about, all kinds of infusions, very often the fact that it doesn't feel like water allows us to drink a lot more. Now, why is that? The reason that some people find they can't drink water too well, they feel uncomfortable drinking water, it doesn't taste good, even if it's filtered and very high quality water, but juices or teas work, is because we are mineral deficient. And when we are mineral deficient, then just plain water, especially filtered water, especially reverse osmosis filtered water, being low on minerals, purposefully so, can cause our body to feel uncomfortable because we're like flushing out what we don't have, or we're not bringing in an answer to that mineral deficiency, and so it causes us to feel like we're diluting our blood. We can't actually understand that in linguistics, but it does feel right when you feel like when you take a sip of water and it feels like it's wrong. That's more or less what it's saying. So, simple solution, obviously, but we'll get to that later. The third reason is a totally different reason. And here, you can take a sip of water and suddenly you're not thirsty anymore. You were really thirsty a moment ago, and 1 sip of water was enough. And it will be the same if it was juice or if it was tea. It's just like your body says, but I'm not thirsty. But you were totally dehydrated a moment ago, and you certainly haven't been drinking enough. Why can't you drink more? Why does it feel like more is unnecessary? Because like you're totally satiated already. You're not thirsty anymore. And the reason for those cases is very simple. When you have a lot of mucus in the system, it doesn't really work well to drink. In a way, it's like if you had this, water tank on the roof, that was supposed to supply you with water for the house. And instead of just water, if you took a big injector with gelatin and, you injected it into the water, and then you'd open the tap, what would come out? Well, you obviously don't see gelatin flowing through pipes, right? Nothing would come out. There's no water. But the tank is full. So if you try to pump water into the tank, nothing would go in. You're not efficient. Your water is stuck elsewhere. And that's the equivalent of mucus. When you're very mucousy, it's like all your liquids are stuck elsewhere. The body doesn't have deficiency in humidity. The humidity is stuck. And so there's no room for more liquids. At least not how we feel. Okay? So what do we do with all these 3? Well, let's give each of them a good video on its own to make sure that they're clear. But, the big picture, if I summarize what I explained today, 1, if you don't remember, you won't drink enough. 2, if you're mineral deficient, you will have the feeling like water is diluting your blood. It's not comfortable, but you will enjoy juices or teas. And 3, if you've got a lot of mucus in the system, a sip of water or any other liquid will seem to be enough when it's obviously not. Okay? All 3 of these issues need to be resolved if you feel like you don't drink enough, or if you've checked your urine the way I explained in a different video and you realize that you haven't been drinking enough and it feels like you're forcing yourself. Well, it's about time to fix the problems instead of fighting them. Okay? So catch me up on the next one and I'll explain what to do with each of these issues.